What's up, everybody? What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's your boy Kicking It with Timmy B. We got a special broadcast here. We got some breaking news from Jalisco, Mexico. So, good evening. One of the most significant blows to organized crime in recent memory. Mexico's most infamous cartel leader has reportedly been killed. Mexican military forces confirmed that Nemesio Ruben Azaguero Cervantes, better known as El Mencho, the head of the notorious Jalisco New Generation Cartel, was taken out during a high stakes military operation in the western state of Jalisco earlier today. We got some articles here, and then we got a couple of videos, and then we're going to go on X and see what the folks are talking about on X. Hopefully some of these videos will be TOS, so there won't be any issues with YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. But shout out to the homie, Mr. M. I'll just call him that. He actually sent me this article by the Wall Street Journal. We're going to go check it out before we go really in depth with the broadcast here. It goes, Mexico takes out powerful drug kingpin, sparking violent response, killing or the taking out of Nemesio Mencho Azaguera, the leader of Jalisco, the new generation cartel, ramps up government's war on cartels after pressure from the U.S. by Santiago Perez and Jose de Cordoba. I think that's how you say that, or say his last name. We have a bus here that's on fire. I was getting reports that there was people in the bus, that there were these gang member cartel folks were just setting public transportation vehicles on fire, which is absolutely insane. And we'll get into just a little bit of this because apparently I have to sign up for the Wall Street Journal to go see this. But we'll just read like the first paragraph here. Mexico's military taken out the country's most powerful drug kingpin, Nemesio Mencho Azaguera, escalating the government's war against cartels amid pressure from President Trump to curb drug trafficking and sparking a widespread violent gang response. And then it just cuts off from there. Let's see see what we have here. We have a article with PBS. Let's get that pulled up here. Hopefully PBS won't try to charge me as well. Let's see here. And then we'll pull this back up. Mexican army takes out Jalisco New Generation cartel leader El Mencho during an operation to capture him. So it was a capture mission, but it's probably a capture or takeout mission. It would probably have been more beneficial to go capture this guy, in my personal opinion, so you get more information from him. But I'm just curious how that kind of went down. But obviously it went down to they had to take him out because he was a serious threat, what it seems like. Oh, okay, I was about to say. So PBS goes into Mexico City AP. The Mexican army killed the leader of Jalisco New Generation cartel, Nemesio Ruben Azaguero Cervantes, nicknamed El Mencho, on Sunday, decapitating what had become Mexico's most powerful cartel and giving the government its biggest prize yet to show the Trump administration its efforts. Azaguera Cervantes was wounded in an operation to capture him Sunday in Tapalpa, I think that's how you pronounce that, Jalisco, about a 2-hour drive southwest of Guadalajara, and he died while being flown to Mexico City. That's crazy. That's some information right there. The Defense Department said in a statement, the state is the base of the cartel known for trafficking huge quantities of fentanyl and other drugs to the United States. Oh, that's crazy. During the operation, troops came under fire and was taking out 4 people at the location. 3 more people, including Asaguera Cervantes, were wounded and later died. The statement said 2 others were arrested and armed vehicles, rocket launchers, that's crazy, and other arms were seized. The 3 members of the armed forces were wounded and receiving medical treatment. Oh, that's wild. So the armed forces of Mexico took some, have wounded personnel. Okay. So the U.S. Embassy in Mexico said on X that the operation was carried out by Mexican Special Forces within the framework of bilateral cooperation with U.S. authorities, providing complementary intelligence. So what it seems like is they are setting up these roadblocks and they're burning vehicles. It's just absolute chaos. I was hearing news that they had taken over one of the airports in Jalisco. I may be wrong about that, about the exact location of that airport, but there seems to be video of an incident that was going on at the airport. So the taking out of the powerful drug lord set off several hours of roadblocks with burning vehicles in Jalisco and other states. Such tactics are commonly used by the cartels to block military operations. Jalisco canceled school in the state for Monday, so that's tomorrow. Today is 2/2020 or 20. Excuse me, it's 2/22, 2026. There's too many twos. So tomorrow for the 23rd, those schools are going to be canceled. So the video circulating on social media, which we'll be trying to check out some of those videos here shortly, showed plumes of smoke billowing over the tourist city of Puerto Vallarta, I think that's how you pronounce that, in Jalisco, and people sprinting through the airport of the state's capital in panic. On Sunday afternoon, Air Canada announced it was suspending flights to Puerto Vallarta due to the ongoing security situation and advised customers not to go to the airport. In Guadalajara, shout out to one of my homies from the service. His father is from Guadalajara City, to my understanding, in Mexico. Very interesting place that he was telling me about. But anyway, back to it. The state capital, burning vehicles, blocked roads. Mexico's second largest city is scheduled to host matches during this summer's Soccer World Cup. I wonder how that's going to go, because that's going to be crazy. The U.S. State Department warned U.S. citizens in Jalisco, Tamaulipas, and Michoacán, I think that's how you pronounce that. Pardon me if I pronounce that wrong. Guerrero and Nueve Leon states to remain in safe places due to the ongoing security operations. Canada's embassy in Mexico warned its citizens to Puerto Vallarta to shelter in place and generally to keep a low profile in Jalisco. Jalisco Governor Pablo Lemus told residents to stay at home and suspended public transportation. That's crazy. You got places to go. I wouldn't be taking the public transportation. I'd be laying low. That's just my personal opinion on that. So it goes on stating that U.S. offered up to $15 million for his capture, which is a lot of money. The U.S. State Department had offered a reward for $15 million for information leading to the arrest of El Mencho, the Jalisco New Generational Cartel, known as the CJNG. is one of the most powerful and fastest growing criminal organizations in Mexico and was born in 2009. In February, the Trump administration designated the cartel as a foreign terrorist group or foreign T group. I don't know if that's going to get cut by YouTube here, but this is all for educational purposes here, folks. Don't get me caught up. So Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, which I'm very interested to hear what she has to say about this and what she's going to do going further about securing her country and getting these bad folks out. Like her predecessor, has criticized the kingpin strategy of previous administrations that took out cartel leaders only to trigger explosions of violence as cartels fractured. While she remained popular in Mexico, security is a persistent concern. And since U.S. President Donald Trump took office a year ago, she has been under tremendous pressure to show results against drug trafficking. So we're getting somewhere here, right? Let's bring this back up here. I'm going to leave this link in the description below. This was PBS. Shout out to PBS News for this informational or informative article. Let's get a video here. Let's see if we could pull this up. This is like a live feed from them. It's going to take me... here we go. Let's pull this up. This is a live feed from it looks like CNN. Let me make sure this is right. CNN News 18. We're gonna go check this out. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button if this has been informative for you. This is breaking news. Let's get right into it.
Drug cartel has been killed today during an operation led by Mexico's military. The cartel boss, who goes by the nickname El Mencho, was widely regarded as one of the country's most violent criminal figures. He was also wanted in the U.S., with the Justice Department putting out a $15 million reward for information leading to his arrest. Now, authorities in multiple Mexican states are reporting the blocking of various roads with vehicles set on fire by alleged members of organized crime, along with clashes with security forces. These are some of the images coming out of the country now. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico just issued a shelter in place to all U.S. citizens in areas where the operations are now taking place. I want to bring in CNN's Valeria Leon, who joins us now from Mexico City. Valeria, what more can you tell us about the situation unfolding in Mexico right now?
Well, there's fear among residents. We're receiving reports that a store has been set on fire, and people in Guadalajara and Jalisco say they're worried about what would happen next. Let's remember that he's a long-time leader of the Cartel Jalisco Nueva, one of the most powerful and fastest-growing criminal groups in the country. And U.S. authorities have described it as one of the most dangerous transnational cartels, with operations stretching from Mexico to the United States, but not only in the U.S., but also Europe and Asia. So what happens if the man at the top is gone? Well, first, there's a question of succession. Cartel Jalisco is known for its vertical militarized structure, heavily centralized around El Mencho, and his absence could trigger an internal struggle among people competing for control in the cartel. And history tells us that when cartel leaders fall, well, violence can spike. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now in Jalisco, in this Mexican state, and in the capital of this state, in Guadalajara. What's happening now?
Valeria Leon, really appreciate the perspective. As you've been speaking, we've been shown images from the country as well, including from Puerto Vallarta, which obviously very popular for American tourists as well. We'll continue to monitor this story and bring you any developments. So following breaking news out of Mexico, CNN has learned that the leader of the powerful Jalisco New Generation drug cartel has been killed today during an operation led by Mexico's military. The cartel boss, who goes by the nickname El Mencho, was widely regarded as one of the country's most violent criminal figures. He was also wanted in the U.S., with the Justice Department putting out a $15 million reward for information leading to his arrest. Now, authorities in multiple Mexican states are reporting the blocking of various roads with vehicles set on fire by alleged members of organized crime, along with clashes with security forces. These are some of the images coming out of the country now. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico just issued a shelter in place to all U.S. citizens in areas where the operations are now taking place. I want to bring in CNN's Valeria Leon, who joins us now from Mexico City. Valeria, what more can you tell us about the situation unfolding in Mexico right now?
Is this the same one, or is it on loop?
You know, there's fear among residents.
This is on the loop.
That a store has been set on fire, and people in Guadalajara and Jalisco say they're worried about what would happen next. Let's remember that he's a long-time leader of the Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación, one of the most powerful and fastest-growing criminal groups in the country. And U.S. authorities have described it as one of the most dangerous.
Okay, so this is the same one. Give me 1 second, folks. It's like it's on a loop or whatever. It's insane. They got the cars on fire and everything like that. Let's see what's going on here. We have this is very loud. Let me turn this down. We have with the Independent, people flee as gunmen open fire in Mexico airport after drug trafficking cartel leader is taken out. Let me bring this back up here. I apologize. I haven't seen this, so it's obviously a warning. You see it here. Please, YouTube, do not get me on this. I just want to do this for educational purposes. If it gets too crazy or violent, I will cut that or I will change the screen here. But let's see what's going on here. So we got people running here. For the people who are just listening in. You got someone hiding behind some kind of purple object here. There's people in mass chaos hiding behind chairs. We got people leaving the airport here with luggage. It's pretty frantic here. Got people at the metal detectors. They're hiding behind these metal barriers or gates. We have the people who work at the actual airport. They're taking cover. It's only like a minute and 25 seconds long. We got people running. They're on the tarmac. That's crazy. These people are running out of the airplane onto the tarmac, or it looked like the tarmac. This is insane. It kind of reminds me of the No Russian mission on Call of Duty, which was based off a real event where these gunmen went into the airport and just started taking people out. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's keep it moving here. So details. Under his command, grew in transnational. The details of the operation. The operation took place in the mountains around Tapalpa, Jalisco, where elite Mexican army units, supported by intelligence partners from the U.S., moved in to apprehend him. According to military sources, El Mencho was wounded in the ensuing firefight and later died of his injuries while being transported by helicopter to Mexico City. Several CJNG members were also taken out in the raid, and authorities seized weapons and armored vehicles. The immediate aftermath, the news sparked waves of violence across multiple Mexican states, with reports of roadblocks, burning vehicles, and armed clashes in areas historically controlled by the CJNG. Government officials issued public safety alerts. Airports briefly experienced chaos, and citizens were urged to stay vigilant as security forces work to restore order. We got another video here. Let's pull this up. Let's see what's going on here. This is Mexico News Daily TV. This might be in Espanol, aka Spanish. I have not seen this video. I just pulled some of this stuff up before the live stream here. Hit the like, share, and a subscribe button. Prayers to the people who have lost their lives and are dealing with this craziness that this chaos is pressuring people and putting on people here or there in Mexico. Let's bring this up.
Mexican federal forces have killed
All right,
Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho,
Also,
the founder and leader of the Jalisco
Oseguera.
Generation
I can't even say it.
Cartel, or CJNG. The operation took place early Sunday morning, February 22nd, in the town of Tapalpa, Jalisco. In response, cartel members have erected roadblocks and set vehicles on fire across multiple Mexican states. According to high-ranking officials who confirmed the news to Mexican outlet Milenio, the army-led operation was carried out in the municipality of Tapalpa de Allende, a region in Jalisco that had long been associated with El Mencho. Jalisco Governor Pablo Lemus Navarro confirmed on social media that the federal operation resulted in armed confrontations, and that individuals subsequently burned and blocked vehicles across the region in what he described as an effort to obstruct authorities. The governor activated a statewide code red and convened an emergency security committee across all three levels of government: federal, state, and municipal. In Puerto Vallarta, more than vehicles have been set on fire at various points across the city. Public transportation has suspended operations throughout the state. Hotels are advising guests to remain indoors, and some businesses have temporarily closed. In Guadalajara, roadblocks have been reported throughout the city, with residents receiving warnings through neighborhood messaging groups to avoid non-essential travel. Michoacan Governor Alfredo Bedolla separately reported that 13 municipalities in his state are experiencing similar unrest. Roadblocks and vehicle burnings have been confirmed across 6 states in total: Jalisco, Michoacan, Colima, Tamaulipas, Guanajuato, and Aguascalientes. El Mencho was born on July 17, 1966, in Naranjo de Chila, in the municipality of Aguililla, Michoacan. He left school in the
Michoacan,
6th
that's how
grade.
you say that. Wow.
As a teenager, he migrated to the United States, where he was arrested for drug dealing. In 1992, he and his older brother Abraham were convicted of selling heroin to undercover officers, sentenced.
Shout out to Mexico News Daily with this crucial intel here of this guy's lore. It's insane.
To federal prison and later deported to Mexico. After his deportation, he worked as a local police officer in Tomatlan, Jalisco,
That's insane.
before entering the criminal underworld, eventually joining the Milenio Cartel.
See, to my understanding, this guy's like crucial. He's like a crucial person. Anybody that's in a cartel, they want somebody that's a police officer. They want somebody that's in the government or whatever. They can feed them information. They're playing both sides. Like, that's insane to have this guy be a police officer, though, man. That's insane. Let's get back into it.
An organization allied with the Sinaloa cartel under Ignacio Nacho Coronel. Following Coronel's death in 2010 and the collapse of the Milenio Cartel, El Mencho co-founded the CJNG alongside Eric Valencia Salazar. The organization expanded rapidly across more than a dozen Mexican states. Following the capture of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, Oseguera Cervantes was widely regarded by Mexican and U.S. authorities as the country's most powerful active cartel leader. Mexican security forces are maintaining a visible presence across Jalisco, though authorities have been measured in releasing operational information. The situation across affected states remains active and fluid. Residents in Guadalajara, Puerto Vallarta, and surrounding areas are advised by local authorities to stay home and monitor official channels for updates.
Shout out to Mexico Daily News for this important information. We got one more video here by someone pretty dope that I personally watched myself. He's got some information, and then we'll pull up on X and we'll see what else is going on and see what the people are talking about on social media. It seems like this is like This is going viral, the breaking news. This is like a 12-minute, 43-second video. We're not going to take away from the homie Preston Stewart's video. So I'm going to leave the link in the description below so you folks can go take that out or check it out. It's cartel boss taken out, Mexico in chaos. I'm going to get this ready here for you. And then we're going to turn this up a little bit. Hopefully it's not too loud, and we'll get right into it.
Mexico killed El Mencho, the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and one of the world's most wanted drug traffickers. As expected, violence has now erupted across Mexico, threatening to spiral into a full-blown war. Now, this is a developing situation. The violence is still spreading across the country. So we're going to get into what we know so far as of 4 p.m. Central Time on Sunday, February 22nd, what to expect in the coming days, and what it would take for the United States to get directly involved. On that note of U.S. involvement, my understanding now from the reporting that I've seen is that the United States provided intelligence support to the Mexican military. There have not been any official statements or any reliable sources, I should say, suggesting that the United States had any more involvement than that. No U.S. aircraft overhead and certainly no U.S. boots on the ground. That's as of reporting right now. Of course, that could change.
And Preston Stewart is this fellow's name. This was an hour ago that he dropped this video. It's 5:08 p.m. 2/22/2026. To my understanding, I think Delta Force has been operating in Mexico. It doesn't seem like that it's been stated on the news that they had an involvement with it, but there's an intelligence part that the United States has offered their assistance with for this operation. So, I mean, I guess without that intel, they probably wouldn't have been able to go forward with this operation. So let's get back into it.
Now, to give you an idea of how significant this operation was, the Latin Times said, quote, "The killing immediately becomes one of the most consequential blows to a major Mexican criminal organization in years, both because CJNG has been widely described as among the country's most powerful and violent groups, and because El Mencho has remained a fugitive despite a years-long binational manhunt that includes a U.S. State Department reward of up to $15 million for information leading to his arrest or conviction." I don't speak Spanish. I feel like El Mencho is pretty close to what it's supposed to be, but I'm sure I'm getting that wrong in some way, and I'll hear about it in the comments. But that's who we're talking about, El Mencho, the head of CJNG. The Associated Press went into a little more detail here, saying the Mexican army killed the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, El Mencho, on Sunday, decapitating what had become Mexico's most powerful cartel. They say El Mencho was wounded in an operation on Sunday to capture him in Jalisco, and he died while being flown to Mexico City. The state of the base of the cartel is known for trafficking huge quantities of fentanyl and other drugs to the United States. According to the Mexican government, they say during the operation, troops came under fire and killed 4 people. 3 more, including El Mencho, were wounded and later died. 2 were arrested, and they said that armored vehicles, rocket launchers, and other arms were seized, adding that 3 members of the armed forces were wounded and are now receiving medical treatment. As is the case, anytime something happens with the cartels, we've got some old footage popping around the internet showing off some of their armored vehicles. They are more advanced now than they were, and they have a lot of them. So it would have been more surprising had there not been armored vehicles at the site where El Mencho was captured / killed. And this is just something to keep in mind as the violence continues to escalate. This is so much more than, a street gang or a low-level gang. These guys have armored vehicles. They have rocket launchers. They have machine guns.
Which we are going to see. I'm going to try to pull up some of the stuff that I have on Twitter. You can see that they do have armored vehicles. They look pretty well funded. The gear that they have is insane. I've seen videos where there's just a convoy of these guys. They're all stationary and they're out of the vehicles and they're carrying M249 saws, which are light machine guns. These folks have designated marksman rifles. These are SR25s. These are really expensive weapons, and you would need to have access to some kind of military contractor to be able to get these, or they would have to be able to come up to the United States to be able to get some of these weapons. You see the gear that they have is all black, it's shiny, it looks like legit gear. And these folks are just crazy. But the vehicles that they have, the equipment that they have, and the firearms that they have seems pretty legit. And their training, I don't understand like what kind of training that they're getting. I was told over the years that they've recruited people from the military, from the Mexican military, and then from the United States military, to be able to get people to train them, to be able to, shoot, move, and communicate. It's insane. And they're using drones and stuff like that too. And there was some kind of incident, I don't know, that was like last week or something like that, or in the past week and a half or two, where there was a drone that was taken over the border in Texas. I think it was in Texas, and it was near a military base, and I think that they shot it down, and they had like closed the airspace off and so on and so forth. So these people, they seem to be very well funded, and they're using cash instead of using like card and stuff like that. You could trace a card pretty like easily. If you're using cash, I mean, you could funnel that, you could put that in a box, in a coffin, you can take that through the border, you could put that on a plane, you could put that on a boat and send it to somebody. They trade that money for, vehicles, equipment, firearms, and stuff like that. It's totally possible that they could get this stuff under the radar. Let's get back into it. Shout out to Preston Stewart. We're going to watch a little bit more of this, and we'll get into what's going on Twitter.
They are not just they have a lot of drones, and that's going to be an interesting one to see how it plays out if this violence continues to spiral. And they're also very well trained. All right, so this is not quite force on force, like equal playing field, but it's much closer to that than it is, say, in the United States. If the U.S. military were to go after a gang somewhere in the U.S., not a fair fight. This is closer to a level playing field in a lot of ways. Now, the Associated Press added that the DEA considers the cartel to be as powerful as the Sinaloa cartel, one of Mexico's most infamous criminal groups with a presence in all 50 U.S. states. They say it is one of the main suppliers of cocaine to the U.S. market, and like the Sinaloa cartel, earns billions from the production of fentanyl and methamphetamines. So, bad dude, bad leader, or, the bad dude was a leader of a bad organization, I think, to say the least. Right now, in terms of the violence that's spreading, a lot of the videos that you're seeing right now is the result of CJNG attacks across the country. We don't have very much from the actual kill capture mission itself, but the burning vehicles, the roadblocks and such, that is the response from CJNG. El Huaso, a great analyst over on X, whose information will be linked in the description below, put together this graphic saying he is now tracking narco-related violence in 18 states. That's how quickly.
Yeah, it's just crazy. They got stuff going on in Baja California. The Sinaloa cartel has been pretty big in Sinaloa. The Quintana Roo, Tabasco, Veracruz, the Guerrero. I forgot how to pronounce this. The Michoacan, and Jalisco, the Nayarit, Zacatecas, San Luis Potosi, the Tamaulipas, and the Nuevo Leon. So they got motion all over here. What's up with this little tiny island? Are they making moves in this tiny island? Like, that's insane. And to think like they could probably be, sending all kinds of stuff to these islands to get to Baja California, or they could be moving all this product, people, human trafficking, weapons, all this other stuff. You send it to these islands, and you can get right up to the United States. But they got some motion out there, man. It's crazy. Let's get back to it.
In fact, on that note, we'll put a couple different sources in the description for anybody that wants to follow this more up to date on Twitter or on Instagram. El Huaso is one. Stefano Rittendale over on All Source News, of course, another great one.
Michoacan, I think that's how you pronounce
tomorrow, hopefully, to do a little more deeper dive into all of this. So be sure to tune back in for that one.
Yo, shout out to Preston Stewart. I'm going to leave the link for this video in the description below. He's been very informative over the time that I've watched him, he gives some pretty good perspective and information out there. Let's we're gonna pull up for the last part of this. I don't want to take too much of your folks' time. There's not a lot, or there is a lot, but there's probably not a lot that I could show, so I don't really want to keep this going. Your time is very precious, so I want to just get this information out there. I haven't done one of these in a while. I don't even remember the last one that we did. I think we were talking about what's going on in the UK, a bunch of other stuff. So if you want to follow me, hit me up on all platforms at Kicking It with Timmy B. I would deeply appreciate it. We do this stuff throughout the year, if I find it to be credible, if I have the time, and if I'm somewhat informed on the subject. I'd like to learn this stuff as I do these streams, so we're all just learning at the same time. So we're gonna pull up on my X account here. Shout out to the 245 people in the building here. We're gonna go check out some of the stuff that I posted just recently. Kagan Dunlap, shout out to Kagan Dunlap. He's a United States Marine captain. He gives a lot of, he does these informative videos and stuff like that, journalism. Go check him out. He's got a picture of Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State for the United States, and some Marine Corps camo, BDUs or whatever with the face camo paint. He says Secretary of State Marco Rubio finding out he's given the orders to secure Jalisco. He says obviously that is satire. And then we have Pedro Melendez. He has an article here: Puerto Vallarta and many places in Michoacan, Guanajuato, Yota, Jalisco, Sinaloa, and Tamaulipas. It's like try to say that like 6 or 7 times fast. Tamaulipas. Well, I'm kind of getting better at it, but anyway, looks like a war zone. We're already become Ukraine instead of Denmark. For the average leftist piece of crap, Calderon and Garcia Luna are still responsible for the narco tarismo of Morena and the CJNG. So we're gonna pull up this video here. This is from like a hotel or something like that. There's a yacht right there with some smoke next to it, with smoke throughout the whole city here. It's a nice looking hotel here. It's crazy. But you hear the sirens and stuff like that, so you know what's going down. And yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like a war zone out there. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be leaving that hotel. You wouldn't see me leaving that hotel. That's insane. Or you would probably see me trying to leave that hotel to get the heck out of there. Get me out of there. But it's best for people that are there to stay in a place, wait for some more information. I would assume like their law enforcement needs to secure these states, secure these cities, because like this is insane. They got all these places on fire. This is a church. They're setting churches on fire. This is some kind of, I don't know, there's a parking garage or like hotel or something. You see these like black windows. I just assume that's like a garage, but then again, this is like a building here that's obviously some kind of apartment or something like that. You got fire here, the smoke here. That's a beautiful coastline, but it's crazy that all this stuff is going on. And then we go here. We got some pictures of this car that's flipped over. And it was on fire, obviously. There's pieces all over the place for the people that are just listening and not visually able to see what's going on with the stream. Is that like a solar panel or something like that? It looks like yeah, it's a solar panel for the top of this this post here. It's insane. And it looks like the post was like a hit there. And they would have the Nationals, some kind of federal vehicle that seems pretty banged up. It looks like a fresh new vehicle. Banged up. We got somebody over here just chilling in the background. This looks like a actual facility for these guys, because I see there's another truck just like this. So I guess this is a facility, federal facility that was attacked, I guess. Looking pretty crazy, folks. So we got some pictures here. What happened to Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, Jalisco, are acts of terrorismo. I think that's how you say it in Spanish. There are more deaths and disappearances and narco bloqueos. I think that's how you pronounce it. During the peace of hugs and not bullets of the narco ex-presidente AMLO and the narco presidenta Claudia. I think presidente is for like the male version. There's like a male and female way to speak in Spanish, to my understanding, just like in German and certain other languages. But since it's Claudia Scheinbaum, she's a female, it's presidenta. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking here. So then during Calderon's war, Navy SEALs took out El Mencho. So this person is claiming that Navy SEALs pulled up, which is like a pretty crazy claim there. And then we have a picture here of the city. I don't know what specific city this is, but it's looking pretty crazy. This nice building is smoldering here with some smoke in the background. Let's go to the next photo here. Video di Guardia Nocturna, Mas in LopezDarriga.com. I don't know what that means. And it's just these normal buildings here. It looks like there was like an explosion or something like that, but it's just a still. And it looks like it was on Facebook. This picture was posted to. And then obviously this is the airport that we had seen earlier, and the broadcast that was attacked by these cartel folks. And it's just a still frame of these people evacuating with a smoky kind of lens here. And the alerta Jalisco se informa a la población. And it has like a house and some people, and do not, or like a stop kind of like symbol here. I guess just advising people to stay in their homes, protect your family, and then be advised for new information. I'm pretty sure that's what that's saying. My Spanish is not the greatest. Okay, so let's back out of this, and then what else do we have? Shout out to Pedro Melendez for this information. This guy's Irish and Mexican. That's crazy. That's a crazy mix. It's a crazy mix. And then we have Derek Evans here on X. We had shared his, or reposted his post. It goes, breaking AP reports to CJ&G. Boss El Mencho was taken out in a Mexican military operation after hours of cartel roadblocks and burning vehicles. Video show smoke over Puerto Vallarta and panic scenes at the Jalisco Capital's airport. So that's where we're seeing all these scenes from, is from the Jalisco Capital's airport. So we're gonna watch this. Give me 1 second.
No mames.
Looks like we have first responders and local authorities carrying weapons at the low ready, with putting up caution tape around this intersection with a car on fire and smoke for anybody that's just listening and not watching the broadcast. I'm not sure what these folks are saying in the video. They're talking about the Jalisco cartel. They got a lot of police presence. They're spread out here. With the police sirens blaring in the background, it sounds like one of the vehicles is getting closer. There are people on bikes. Wow. I assumed that was one of the tires or something that's in that vehicle that just went off. What's the explosion? I don't know. Okay, that's probably from the vehicle. If I were these people, I wouldn't just be standing up without standing behind something. That's just so dumb. They got a guy on a wheelchair or somebody in a wheelchair with tons of people just hanging out, watching this car on fire. Prima vita. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's from the vehicle. So these folks like set this vehicle on fire and then what, just ran? Or did they actually engage with these folks that set the vehicle on fire? I'm just not sure the whole context of that, but there is a vehicle on fire in this intersection. They have law enforcement on the ground with civilians in the area taking videos and watching the scene. Shout out to Derek Evans. So now we got Nick Sorter with a video here. Nick Sorter says, urgent breaking, U.S. State Department to Americans in Mexico. The U.S. Embassy are ordered to shelter in place following explosive cartel violence in the following regions: Jalisco, Puerto Vallarta, Chapala, Guadalajara, Tamaulipas, Reynosa, and others, parts of Michoacan and Guerrero and Nuevo Leon. Do not ignore these warnings. Cartels are indiscriminately targeting civilians in retaliation for the U.S.-Mexico operation killing El Mencho, one of the most powerful cartel leaders. And he's got a 23-second video here. Update for U.S. citizens abroad. Security alert Mexico with the American flag and a Department of State seal with a STEP's airline symbol. I assume STEP is part of the airlines there in Mexico. Let's go watch this video. We got people in this hotel. Guy with his feet in the hot tub. Everyone standing up, looking over at this beautiful view of chaos and smoke. And it goes on the ground, and there's a vehicle on fire. It's looking pretty crazy with that. It's quiet though. Shout out to Nick Sorter. What else do we have? We have Tara Bull. Follow her on X. She goes Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, a prominent American tourist destination seen from a fishing boat. I don't know what's up with the video. It might not play. Let's see if we can get a refresh on the page. Excellent. Or not. But it's obviously just a boat looking at Puerto Vallarta from the water, and you see the huge black plumes of smoke in the background. I'm gonna go all the way back down to where we were at. Yeah, for some reason it won't allow me to play that video. That's okay. We're gonna go to Derek Evans again. He has a video. This isn't isolated unrest, quote unquote. Puerto Vallarta is facing a full-scale cartel showdown, and the videos are impossible to ignore. It's crazy that that guy had to be taken out for these people to be out there in the streets, coming out of the shadows and stuff like that. It was working, inconspicuously, or they were, working in the shadows, and then this guy gets taken out, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sick of this. Now we got to start making everybody's life like worse because this one dude, man." That's personally, I just find that to be insane. But obviously, what's done in the dark comes out in the light, as my grandmother used to tell me. Let's go watch this video. By pressfortruth.ca, we have 2 vehicles on fire. Looks like a Volkswagen.
So everybody is being told to leave the area right now. Here on the beach, the tiki bar is being cleared out. All of these things are being cleared out. It's being roped off.
It sounds like this guy is Canadian, so he might be a Canadian national. Let's get back into it.
Right now, they're asking that everybody vacate the area and leave immediately. You can see the smoke. I don't know if you can, the smoke in the sky. But we were just walking on the beach and we saw smoke everywhere. And we're being informed that there's major cartel violence happening right now all over Puerto Vallarta. Apparently, they've captured a top-ranking cartel member, and when that happens, all-out war happens. A number of cars have been set on fire, motorcycles set on fire. In fact, there were some attendees of Anarchapulco who were in a taxi cab. Taxi drivers are apparently targeted by the cartel. They were they had their car shot at, the taxi driver was murdered, and the car was set on fire. All of their luggage has been burnt, including their clothes and passports, in fact. So it's a pretty scary, dire situation right now. We're being told, do not go out at all, do not walk in the streets, do not get in a taxi or an Uber, do not go to the airport. In fact, the entire airport may be shut down right now because of this cartel violence. I mean, we heard Trump mentioning a while back that he's going to go after the cartel in Mexico. Is this the beginning of that? Are we witnessing it live? I don't know, but everybody here has just been instructed to leave the area immediately. The entire beach here is being shut down. It's clearing out, and really intense situation going on.
Just imagine you're chilling, and all of a sudden, like, you're just having a nice time, just chilling, like, on these little beds or whatever. You came out here to have a break from your life, from wherever you're from, and then all of a sudden, all heck just goes down, and then the people that own this hotel or this, like, resort are like, y'all need to get off the beach. It's time to go. It's like, what? It's like, you need to go. You need to stay here, but you're not going to stay on this beach. Is not safe. The fact that they're going after people in like taxi cabs, it makes sense because those people, they want to go after the people that are trying to leave. And those people are more likely foreigners or from out of the country and stuff like that. They want to get anybody. And the crazy thing is, who are they going to be? My mindset is, who are they going to be capturing? If they're not, getting rid of these people, they're going to be capturing people. And that means that they're going to be trying to use these people as leverage and negotiate for a hostage. It becomes a hostage situation. I mean, this is just happening. I want to see what happens tomorrow, but if they're not just taking people out, they're going to be snatching people up, and it's so sad, man. So sad. So let's get back into it.
In Puerto Vallarta, so I'm going to continue to document this as we do. We're going to stay safe in our hotel. I don't know if you can see the smoke in the air, but it's all over the place. It's thinned out now in the last hour, but apparently, from what I understand, there's a whole bunch of cartel violence happening all over the city right now. We don't fly out until tomorrow, but hopefully it's not going to be an issue for us, because as it is right now, the airports might even be shut down. I hear the military is getting involved. Some of these cartel have, in the past, shot down military helicopters because they literally own rocket launchers. So this is serious stuff. This is serious stuff.
Prayers to these people, man. I hope they make it out. I don't know if they're gonna be getting out tomorrow, though.
Everybody is being forced to vacate the bar, the beach area, and smoke in the air. Major situation here in Puerto Vallarta.
You know, shout out to this guy. Shout out to Derek Evans for this. This is interesting. We got footage from breaking 9/11, insane footage, Mexican Air Force UH-60 Blackhawk firing mounted minigun at CJNG cartel gunmen near the prison in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So that's another thing. This is actually like, this didn't even pop into mind. If they're doing this whole takeover, what it seems like they're just causing chaos, but they're going to try to take over these like areas. They're going to go to the prisons, and who do they have in these prisons? They have all these cartel people, all these terrible people. And what they're going to probably try to do is break those folks out, and it's going to be mass chaos. Like, if it wasn't bad before, it'll be bad if they get some of these folks out. But they're in a UH-60? That's crazy, bro. Says something about she doesn't know why. That's all I can understand from that. Yeah, you hear that freaking minigun clapping. That's insane. All right, folks, we got another one here. This is Joaquim Lopez Dorigo. Did I just press the wrong button? Sorry, let's press the wrong button. This is how the Costco in Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco is right now. Don't leave your houses or hotels. So that's another thing too. So these buildings, grocery stores or whatever, shopping centers, I'm sure there's going to be looting going on. It's like these folks are going to be rolling up. They're going to hotels. They're ripping people out of taxis. They're going to prisons to grab people or try to get people out. Now they're going to go to these stores. They're setting the stores on fire so no one can go anywhere. So if you don't have no food in the house, I feel so bad for you because you're going to be locked in a place. You know, how are you going to go out and go do something with these folks out there? But they're going to be like probably looting these Costco areas. Or if it's really like going down, they're going to be posted up at these places. And if you show up, they're going to shoot you or they're going to kidnap you because you're trying to go and get food and water. And that's another thing for like preparation. You just never know what's going to happen. You should always have enough food and water, at least to last you a certain amount of time. But it's real tough out here in the United States. I can only imagine it's tough in Mexico. So people don't have those benefits or opportunities to be able to have, you know, those resources on hand in case something like this happens. Is very unfortunate. But we got a video here of this Costco on fire. Let's go see what else is going on here. So there's cars in the parking lot on fire. I guess the horns are going off because the car is on fire. That's insane. Something about mother effer. And this is somebody that lives across the street from this Costco. Very interesting. We got a couple more, I think. We got a video by Derek Evans again. Puerto Vallarta is in paradise, quote unquote. He says right now the cartel crews are torching cars on camera to flex control, and the glossy travel narrative is collapsing. So these guys with no mask on, wearing all black, just rolled up in the middle of the street. Looks like an off ramp of a highway or something like that, with two vehicles, a Ford Fusion and some kind of vehicle I've never seen before. I don't know if that's like a Chevy or Volkswagen or some kind of Mexican car manufacturer. But yeah, it's looking pretty crazy. It's broad daylight. Wait until the nighttime happens. That's what's really going to be crazy. I mean, it's crazy during the daytime. It's going to be crazy during the nighttime. They got to get this together. And the car drove right by these fools. Oh, he just ripped the dude out. No way. No way. Yo, they're just ripping people out. Yo, this is crazy. Yo, tell me these people in the red. Oh my God, they ripped the people out and then set the car on fire inside. And then they get back in the car. Wow, there's a red car over here. Somebody on the side of that. Yo, that's insane. Let's play this back one more time. Yeah, Ford Fusion just goes, no, I'm not with that. Ford Fusion, yeah, I'll be getting out of here. There's people in red. You're insane. I'm driving right around. I don't see no guns on these people. I'm driving right by you. But obviously, it's going to be a little difficult because I got to drive off the road because these people just set this line of fire. Man, what a bunch of douchebags, bro. These people are evil people, man. Evil people. And Miss Adaluke, I think that's how you pronounce her name, has a video of there are multiple attacks and narco roadblocks in Puerto Vallarta following the capture of the narco leader El Mencho. I think it's very clear who runs Mexico, and it's not Claudia Sheinbaum. Yeah, I would love to hear a public statement from this woman about all this. So someone on a beach looking inland, and the coastline's looking pretty crazy. The air's looking pretty dark. Smoke coming from certain buildings and areas throughout the land here. Yo, I can't believe they're like brazen. That's insane. They freaking ripped these people. They ripped them out of the car though. Oh man. They ripped them out of the car. Shout out to Just Ren RX. She just followed me a couple days ago. She's a popular conservative woman on X. She goes, I hope no one is in or plans to go to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. If so, violence has erupted over the death of a cartel leader, and they want to keep these kinds of people here. Let's watch this video. It's a car on fire. There's a roadblock. Everyone's turning around. I'm sorry for it's like super loud. There's multiple cars blocked, multiple cars on fire. That's insane, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy out here. It's crazy. And then we've seen this video by Juanita Broderick. It wasn't her, but somebody else posted it. Nick Sorter has the same video that we had seen. Wall Street Apes has a video here, and then Morena Fall has some stuff going on with Jeffrey Epstein. So folks, I don't know how long the stream is going on for, but let's see where we're at here. An hour and 3 minutes. Thank you all for being here. I just want to close with a couple things, and then I'll let you folks get right back to what you were doing. Let's see where we're gonna go with this. I guess we'll just put it up here to be real. Okay. So the implications here, while analysts describe this as a major symbolic victory for the Mexican government's anti-cartel campaign, experts warn that the power vacuum could lead to further violence as rival factions vie for control. Only time will tell how this will reshape the landscape of organized crime in Mexico and beyond. So them gripping this fool up and trying to do a Maduro move, but then he ends up dying. Who's going to take the place of this guy? You know what I mean? You would need to do like a thorough attack, like an operation on all of the people below this El Mencho guy, I guess, to really solidify it. Obviously, some lower guys would try to fill these positions, but it wouldn't be as significant because the real main hard hitters have been doing this stuff, what they said, since 2009 or something like that, would be gone. And if you do a good job of like going after these people, you would instill a scare tactic, preventing these people from like, it would make them think twice about like, do I really want to assume this position? Just like the folks in Hamas and stuff, like over in the Middle East and stuff like that. Those folks are probably thinking twice about assuming those positions because Israel, United States, or whoever went after the head guys. You go after the head guys, people are going to think twice. So it just makes me think who is going to fill that power vacuum. You know what I mean? I think Mexico, it's a beautiful place, but they have a lot of corruption, just like a lot of other states and countries and stuff. But I think they have a lot of corruption. They're like well embedded with the police, in all facets of life, you know, the government, so on and so forth. So I think it's kind of difficult to go after these people because they will threaten you. They will threaten people's families, or, you know, they will make sure that, you know, if anybody's going up against them, they're going to feel the pressure from these people that don't play by the rules. That's just my thoughts on that. And then, just closing this up. So we'll continue to follow this developing story and bring you updates as more details emerge. I'm definitely going to be tapping in with this because I live pretty close to Mexico. I live pretty close to Mexico. So I'm going to be following up with this because it kind of affects me, or it might affect me in the future, because it makes me believe that if this gets worse, these folks are going to be pushing up to the border, and then they're going to be wanting to go into the border towns and these states that are along the border to cause havoc. And I live in a pretty crazy place right now. Like, some of these folks are embedded where I'm in my city and state. You know what I mean? What are these folks are going to be doing because this guy, you know, like, was taken out? But that's kind of my mindset. That's kind of where I'm at. Let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. Thank you all for being here. There's a mass turnout for this important information and breaking news. It's your boy kicking it with Timmy B. I served in the military. I love geopolitics. So I like to cover stuff like this, especially if it hits close to where I'm at. I'm very intrigued, and I don't like drugs. President Donald Trump said that he was going to do a war on drugs, and designated these certain cartels and folks as bad people. And they're on the list. They need to be taken out. They need to stop bringing in these drugs into our country and spreading it around the world. This El Mencho person, to my understanding, is the cause of a lot of American lives, because his people bring these drugs, these terrible, nasty drugs, into our country and makes the loads of money. And meanwhile, these people overdose and they're just on the streets like zombies. And it's just like, there's an epidemic. There's a drug epidemic going on around the world, but specifically in the United States. So this is why I think this is important news for me to bring up. So if you want to follow what I'm doing, you can hit me up on all platforms at Kicking It with Timmy B. We're going to be doing another live stream here shortly. I play video games and stuff like that, but we do news, commentary, content creation, and video game stuff. So if any of that interests you, please pull up. I would love to have you here. But have a blessed one. My prayers go out to the people in Mexico that are affected by this. It's a very crazy time in the world. I hope the people of Mexico can get justice for these terrible people causing this mayhem. And I want to hear what President Scheinbaum has to say, and I'm interested to hear what President Donald Trump has to say about this in the State Department going further. And I'm really curious if there was really any special forces from the United States that were involved with this raid. I mean, I'll just end on this. I find it hard to believe that the Mexican army would finally just say, we're going after this dude, like after however many years. But obviously, like we have read in multiple articles and stuff like that, President Donald Trump is putting the foot on these folks' necks to be able to do something about these folks. So anyway, it's your boy Kicking It with Timmy B. Have a blessed one. It's 2/22/2026. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.